Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about the comments that are coming from the United States of America. Yes, their president has clearly stated that USA will not come to Pakistan's aid. Now, why this news holds important, specifically, of course, with respect to the international relations. So, historically, we have seen that United States of America has tried to counter India by in some way or the other supporting Pakistan. So it has time and time again done that. In fact, in wars also it has done that. In the Kargil war, wherein US denied the GPS system to India, all those things have happened. Now the present ongoing conflict, or rather we should call it the fight against terrorism. So India is fighting a war against terrorism. India is, as we speak, taking counter-terrorist measures. Now in this particular counter-terrorism measure that India is taking, it is quite clear that we are precisely targeting only the terrorist camps, terrorist regions, etc. However, Pakistan had responded with attacks on Indian civilians. Now, subsequent to that, there have been dissection of the military might of India as well as Pakistan. So if we actually compare, be it Air Force, Navy, or the military, the army, the entire defense system, if you compare that, it is quite clear that India has a way superior hand as compared to Pakistan. There is no doubt about it. However, Pakistan can choose, or Pakistan can probably decide to cry for help in this case. So the help can come from where? One of the possible help could have been from USA. Right? So when it could have gotten help from USA, that would have given it some amount of push probably, because again, USA is quite far away, it's not contiguous with Pakistan, so only it can help only so much. At the same time, India is also a nuclear power, so USA would just like that not try to intervene where the conflict is about India's sovereignty, security, and defending its own citizens. So, however, it could have asked for help to USA, to China, and maybe some other allies. So, one news has come from USA already. We do not know about the China's stand as of now. However, it has not intervened in any manner whatsoever so far, other than, of course, providing the missiles, etc., which it already has. For example, the defense system HQ-9, which Pakistan uses, is actually given to Pakistan by China at previous occasions, of course, which Pakistan has purchased. Nothing as of now. But with respect to USA, already a statement has been made. Who has made that statement? So now we are not talking about any ex-employee or ex-president, ex-vice president. We are talking about the current US's vice president, which is Mr. J.D. Vance. So it is Mr. J.D. Vance that has mentioned that it will not intervene directly. Does that mean they will intervene indirectly from the side of Pakistan? No, that's not what he means to say, because if you look on closer and read the entire statement that he has given, he is indirectly talking about intermediating to calm things down, not taking side of Pakistan. But one thing is clear, it will not intervene directly is what he has said. However, he has also talked about pushing both the nuclear armed neighbors towards de-escalation is what he has mentioned. Now, what is the context of this entire statement that is coming from? So we all know that Pahalgam terrorist attack, we all know about it, right? 26 lives were taken, 25 were Indian citizens, one of them being a Nepali citizen. So innocent lives were taken by the terrorist attack. Subsequent to which, India had taken a lot of actions against Pakistan. Why Pakistan? Because here we are talking about terrorists, but then actions are being taken against Pakistan because Pakistan has a habit or a history of facilitating terrorists and terrorist organizations. So it has grown in its region, in Pakistan's region, in Pakistan territory under their watch, and they are not doing as such whatever is in their hand to eradicate it. That is why we started diplomatically squeezing Pakistan. Now, apart from that, there is a very direct thing that India has done, that is carried out Operation Sindoor, wherein India destroyed their terrorist camps, terrorist headquarters, terrorist regions, total 9 such areas. Now, subsequent to that, wherein India had, of course, attacked the terrorist areas, regions, people, and terrorists, basically terrorists and terrorist organizations, Pakistan retaliated by firing artillery on innocent Indian citizens. So that is what has happened. It targeted Indian citizens. Now, subsequent to that, it did not stop it there. It again tried to attack India's air bases as well. So Indian air bases or India's military bases were also attacked. As you can see, Pak tried to attack Indian military bases. However, our defense system known as S-400, which is also known as the Sudarshan Chakra, actually thwarted away all the attacks of Pakistan. However, it does not deny the fact that they had attempted to attack our military bases. So what further is the context is subsequent to which we successfully thwarted their attacks. And what is India's position currently? So India's position is very clear, which is right as well, that India has the right to defend itself. The very important thing is India has reaffirmed its right to defend its sovereignty, integrity, and defend its citizens. It has also declared preparedness to ensure national security. We are also prepared to ensure the security of our country and our citizens as well. So there is a strong stance against cross-border terrorism. We are not going to tolerate it one bit, is what the stand of India is. And not just that, India is garnering or gaining support from around the world. Israel has come up in its support. The ex-UK Prime Minister has come up in its support. Now, various other countries are also supporting and saying that it is India's right to defend itself because the act in Pahalgam was a terrorist act which took away the lives of the people. So Rishi Sunak, the ex-Prime Minister of Britain, also supports India's cause. Now, let's go into the detail of what Mr. J.D. Vance has said. So, he has mentioned that we are not going to get involved in a war that is none of our business. That is none of our business. So, in USA is clear that they have no business getting involved in war between India and Pakistan. These two are fighting a war which is, he is saying, a regional conflict. So it is a regional conflict between the two. In fact, he could have been more careful with his words. It's not a war against Pakistan as such. It is a counter-terrorist action or measure that India has taken. It is rather Pakistan who then attacked civilians and tried to attack the military bases of India. So Pakistan actually waged war against India. India was simply carrying out counter-terrorist measures. This needs to be absolutely clear and repeated every time we hear these kind of things as J.D. Vance is saying over here. So it's not a regional war, it's not a regional conflict, it is simply one nation, that is India, doing counter-terrorist action, and the other nation, that is Pakistan, is trying to harm civilians and the military bases of our country, India. Moving ahead, he also says that USA aims to push for de-escalation. De-escalation is what they're trying to do and not military involvement. That means USA is not going to provide any kind of military support, any kind of defense support, missile support, support with arms, ammunition, or funding with respect to the ongoing conflict that is going on. So it only wants to push for de-escalation, meaning to calm the situation down. Now, since this is not calming down and is getting escalated, there is a concern over nuclear escalation. So can this war escalate to a nuclear war? Now, Vance has actually acknowledged the risk of conflict between nuclear powers. When two nations are nuclear powers, not even two, in fact, even if one could have been, there could have been a chance of nuclear war. Right, here both the nations are nuclear power. Now remember, earlier India had a no first use policy. In nuclear weapons, earlier India had a no first use policy, means India had earlier promised that it will never use nuclear weapons first. Right, it will only use when someone else is actually using it. However, since the last few years, we have done away with this no first use policy, because if someone is trying to encroach on our independence, on our security, sovereignty, and the citizens, India reserves all the right to take whatever measure is required to take. So there is no first use policy. There is now no first use policy is completely absent from India's arsenal or India's policy. So Vance has warned against potential for broader regional war or nuclear exchange. He has stressed about cooler heads getting involved, and diplomatic efforts should be made in order to cool this particular thing down. Right. Further, it has also went on to say, which is a good thing to mention, that America or USA cannot tell Indians and Pakistanis to lay down arms. It cannot tell two sovereign nations as to what to do. Now, they have been doing that so historically, but now at least they have come to their senses that we cannot tell two sovereign nations what to do, as Washington has limited control over sovereign disputes. Sovereign disputes means dispute between two independent countries. So what is the approach of USA here? Encourage dialogue and restrain from any further escalations. Now, USA has, however, come ahead in diplomatic outreach. So their Secretary of State, Mr. Marco Rubio, has engaged with both sides. He has engaged with our Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Mr. Jayanagara, as well as the External Affairs Minister of Pakistan also, in order to talk with them and urge immediate de-escalation of the situation. Now, if you talk about the entire world, of course, whatever the news or the statements are coming with whatever countries, they are coming in support of India and against the terrorist act of Pakistan and in solidarity and support of India. Thank you.